In this next video, I'm going to show you two great backswing feels that will help you fix your backswing in just 5 minutes. If you're struggling with your backswing, you've tried everything and nothing seems to work, this is the video you want to watch. Sound good? Keep watching. Hi, this is Troy from Hitting It Solid. Thanks for watching. So let's talk about these backswing feels and how you can fix your backswing in just 5 minutes. So I'm going to show you two backswing feels. These work in conjunction with each other and really powerful, can help you make a better backswing. So what do most golfers do wrong? And you might be able to relate to this, might be something that you do. So from down the line on this angle here, most golfers with their backswing, typically they get in a good posture at setup here, they get bent over the ball quite nicely, but as they turn away, they quite often stand up like this, they get a lot taller in their posture, and the club will get very wide, very flat at the top, or conversely, it might point across the line, somewhere exaggerated like that. That's very commonly where golfers are going wrong in their backswing. You might be able to relate to that. Drop a comment down below if that's something you think you might do. If you're set over at address here and you feel like you're standing up and actually getting further away from the golf ball. So the first golf swing feel I've got, and this is a really key one, and it all ties around this left arm, and it all starts at your setup. So if I'm set up, and I'll show you this from a couple of different angles just so you can see exactly what I'm doing. So it's set up here. What I want you to focus on, this is really important, so make sure you understand, make sure you sort of listen up and really get this. At setup, where a lot of golfers go wrong is their elbows on both arms, in particular their lead arm, their elbow is actually pointing down towards the target. Now the problem with that is when you have your elbow pointing towards the target, I'll show you it from this angle here, if I've got my left elbow sort of in this locked position like this, and it's pointing down my target line there, as soon as I make my takeaway, that elbow, the only way it can bend is this way here, and it pulls. You'll notice as soon as I do that, it pulls the club inside. I get off plane straight away, and what I mean by off plane is golf swing works on an arc, on a swing plane, and ideally we want the swing plane moving up and around like that. But if your elbow is pointing at the target at setup, it's really difficult to maintain that swing plane without some sort of manipulation with the rest of your body. So straight away, that elbow bends and the swing will break down very quickly. So a great, really simple way you can fix this, at setup, arms ahead, turn them internally like this, just your wrist. So you've got that little elbow pit area here facing forward right towards, in your case, will be right towards the golf ball. And you can do this with the right arm as well, but it's really key in particular on your lead or your left arm. Now when you do that at setup, you just get that facing there. When you do that, it naturally makes it easy for you to make a smooth takeaway, get the golf swing on a good plane, and the elbow will naturally bend upwards. So you're able to make the backswing come up a bit steeper and keep the golf club on plane. So from down the line, it'll look like this. I've got my elbow pit towards the golf ball, both arms in fact. As I turn and rotate, it makes it much easier to keep that club on a really good plane. Now tying in with that is this lead elbow. What I'd like you to think about is having that lead elbow, and it ties in with this elbow pit. Having that lead elbow pointing at my body at setup. You can see here it's pointing up my left hip. As I make my takeaway, still pointing at my hip, pointing at my right hip this time. When we get to about the halfway spot here, the left elbow should be pointing at the ground, and it pretty much stays pointing at the ground, top of the backswing. Now if I ever get off plane or out of position, this is what will happen. If I stand up, look where the elbow is pointing, way out there somewhere. We want that left elbow pointing towards the ground throughout that backswing, and that way you know you're on plane and you'll make a really solid backswing. So from this angle here, as we turn, so elbow starts pointing at our hips during the takeaway, pointing at the right hip now. As we get up higher here, the elbow is still pointing down here, and we turn, elbow still pointing down here. From this angle, this is just a really, really good way. Elbow pointing down, elbow still pointing down. There it is there, pointing down. Really great way of keeping your golf swing, and your backswing in particular, on plane, which sets you up for the rest of the golf swing. So that's the first real backswing feel I wanted to show you. Let's look at this other one. Okay, the second of these backswing feels. Now for me, this ties straight in with that first one really nicely, and this all revolves around our right hip, and in particular the right glute. So what I want you to feel as you make your backswing, let's set up to a ball here. I want you to feel, and if you're doing this correctly, you should feel a stretch in your right glute, right around that right hamstring area. As we make our backswing, as we're turning, you should feel as though this right hip gets deeper, further away from you in this direction here. And that means you're staying in posture, you're not getting further away from the golf ball. And when you do that, you should feel a stretch right around this right glute area here. And if you're feeling that stretch, you know you've done this correctly. You know you're getting into that right hip, you're getting that right hip depth, and you're setting yourself up for a great backswing. And what you should be also sort of feeling is that you're getting pressure into that instep, that left part of the right foot. I don't believe in really pushing all the weight onto that right side, but on that instep here of the right foot, you should feel like as you turn, this right hip is going backwards and getting more depth. And you'll really feel, I can really feel a stretch there in my right glute, my right butt. That way I know I've done my backswing correctly, and I'm in a great position there. So there's two really great backswing feels, which can fix your backswing in just 5 minutes. If you have any questions about that, please let me know. Anything you're not too sure of, let me know, or we'll get back to you. Thanks for watching. See you very soon. Click and watch the video on your screen now. It's going to go into more detail about the importance of having a lower left shoulder in the backswing, which ties in really well with this video. If you want to learn how to play amazing golf, consider subscribing to the channel. And remember, if you have any questions or comments, please let me know. I will respond to every single one of you. Thanks for watching. See you next time.